On in the country, that does not stop the government from diversifying its fuel sources.
Puma did indicate that they don't intend to move out of the country. It is a forex and banking issue, and they want to remain in business. We were transparent with them. We said, you can remain in business, but we're also looking at other alternates to ensure we have fuel security in our country. Our interest is not to be in the business of fuel supply. Government's interest is in the area of fuel security for our country. And so we did indicate to them that we're looking at other alternates, including working with our national energy company, Kumul Petroleum Products Limited, MRDC group of companies, to ensure our fuel is secure for our people. So that conversation was held with Puma and other businesses who showed interest to come into the PNG market. So I want to give indication to our country.
A draft report into the legacy impact assessment for Panguna should be ready by May or August this year. This is the undertaking given by the country manager of Rio Tinto, Andrew Copper, during a meeting with the Prime Minister James Marape yesterday in Port Moresby. The meeting saw the attendance of Rio Tinto PNG Country Director Andrew Cooper, along with Deputy Country Director Cornelius Soagai. During the meeting, Mr. Cooper updated on the Panguna Mine Legacy Impact Assessment progress initiated by an agreement between Rio Tinto and representatives of the Bougainville community members through the Human Rights Law Center. Prime Minister James Marape extended his gratitude towards Rio Tinto for its diligent efforts in conducting an effective legacy impact assessment and establishing a fund for the Panguna mine and its affected communities. He assured full support for Rio Tinto's efforts in impact assessment, establishing a benefit fund and the full transfer of BCL shares to the Bougainville government and its people. Port Moresby General Hospital has condemned a recent break-in at the new Kumul Petroleum National Heart Centre, resulting in the theft of cash and a laptop. CEO Dr. Paki Molomi stressed the importance of safeguarding the public facilities, while Kumul Petroleum's Managing Director Wapu Sonk warned of delays in life-saving treatments. Fortunately, no medical equipment was taken and services resumed promptly. Security measures are being bolstered to prevent future incidents. Despite the setback, KPNHC continues to provide uninterrupted care, supported by Kumul Petroleum's ongoing contributions. The PNG Circus team has a carnival planned for the school holidays this April. Running under the Active City Development Program, young performers are hard at practice for what's expected to be a showstopper performance. Program Director and founder Fazila Bazari said this carnival will determine plans for a grand carnival. The event takes place between April 6th and 14th at the Port Moresby Arts Theatre.
CPA to promote that event, to bring people from Papua New Guinea to come, because you know, like when I was small, my father always takes me in December to Circus Come to Town. You know, the whole field is just filled with ghost house and popcorns and face painting, and you know, so I had this idea, you know, like I must bring this. I've been in Papua New Guinea for 25 years and I have this, you know, talent, and I want to support the growth of young people here. And so I'm having that idea in my head, so I'm hoping that we would do a big circus carnival and that we will incorporate all the different performers, stand-up comedians from all over the country, our local bands, you know, so it's just like a whole big music carnival, maybe at an adventure park or a nature park where it's safe and there's like entry fee, and it's like a real place for children to walk around with balloons, you know, twirling balloons and having ice cream. So it's just a plan that I have. I hope that, you know, that manifests itself. And so we are training them to also make sure that we have things like fire juggling to do night shows and light decoration and all of that. So this is what we have in plan from Active City to collaborate with PNG Circus to do a carnival. And we are also, if anybody else out there who are listening to this and who wants to be a part of this, please do come in and support us.
A bushfire that has destroyed 3 homes and several properties in Waroona has flared up, with authorities reinstating an emergency warning. Conditions eased throughout the night, giving firefighters a chance to strengthen containment lines before winds strengthened. The blaze still out of control and unpredictable.
The smoke had just started to settle, with residents finally able to take stock. Farmer Dave McKay estimates he's lost about 1,000 hectares of farmland.
I think everyone's been in a state of panic for a while. A lot of sleepless nights. It's been very tense, very nervy. I'm a bit lost for words.
3 homes have been lost to the bushfire, several more buildings damaged. Firefighters managed to contain the blaze overnight due to easing conditions.
We are expecting again today to make considerable progress. Crews will take advantage of this to consolidate containment lines over the course of today, and I can advise that the fire is now 100% tracked.
But just as roadblocks were beginning to open, a flare-up. Authorities say they're confident they can bring the blaze under control, but residents aren't in the clear just yet. You can see the smoke billowing up behind me from a flare-up, and we're expecting hot and dry conditions to persist in coming days. The origins of the blaze, started by campers charging devices on a car battery, has prompted a plea from the government.
I would urge people not to be silly, not to do any tricks over the next few days. One silly mistake can lead to people losing their lives or indeed their livelihoods.
Authorities say Western Australians should brace for more bushfires in coming weeks, with little to no rain expected.
The Northern Territory Land Council has slammed the territory and federal governments over what they've described as a horror evacuation in the wake of Tropical Cyclone Megan. The NLC are calling for better resourcing and emergency planning to ensure remote communities are ready when disaster strikes.
Cracked roads and damaged homes, a major mop-up effort underway in Borroloola. But as floodwaters recede, frustration over how the emergency was handled is rising.
They knew about the cyclone was up the top there, sitting, and they should evacuate us before then, before the last minute.
These men were among the 380 people urgently airlifted from Borroloola last Thursday. They say not enough was done ahead of time to prepare and communicate a clear plan.
That in itself creates a lot of confusion, frustration, anger.
On the other side of the country, Chair of the Northern Land Council Matthew Ryan in Canberra calling on the government to do better.
It's been appalling by both government in terms of their responses.
In a scathing statement, the NLC calling out a severe lack of communication and inadequate emergency response throughout the ongoing cyclone and subsequent flood disaster. Residents shared being herded without clarity and left waiting in the pouring rain and cold. Those that could not be evacuated found refuge in damaged buildings without electricity nor food supplies. Labor Minister Mark Monaghan defending the government's response.
If no one dies in these spaces, how could you say it was a horror?
Very unacceptable. I'm very appalled by his comment.
Residents and the NLC have thanked those working at the evacuation centre and on the ground in Borroloola for their efforts, but say more needs to be done to learn from past mistakes.
We need to be proactive, not reactive.
Damage crews are continuing to assess the impact in Borroloola. The latest update indicating those assessments are unlikely to be complete before Thursday. Until they're done, evacuees will remain here, unsure of when or how they're going to be reunited with family back home.
They're not knowing what's happening to them. Are they well? Did the house fall down, or a tree fall on it?
Questions which for many remain unanswered.
PNG men's football team head coach Warren Moon was happy with the PNG couple's performance, although they conceded 3 goals in the first hour and 1 in the second half, suffering a comprehensive defeat at the hands of their much-fancied opponents, 6-0. In the post-match interview, Moon said he saw what was coming for his side even before the game had started. Admitting that his men were outclassed, Moon said there is a lot to do to be competitive internationally. Here are the match highlights. Tony Wani's Southern Highlands business owner lives at Gorobe community in Port Moresby and supports the Border Storm Rugby League club. Border Storm just recently won the bowl playoffs in the JT9s tournament in the Moresby South electorate. Wani maintains his support of the youth at Gorobe because it is keeping the young men out of trouble. He said his motto is not about winning but keeping the youth occupied. Besides rugby league training, he sees to it that the young men respect each other and members of their community. He teaches discipline and encourages them to stay away from drugs, alcohol and crime. Wani says he gets a lot of satisfaction and pride sponsoring the Border Storms Rugby League team, who have been performing quite well in the local competition over the years.
Mixim longan and Mr. Sabotin, Border Storms, Emblon, Big Plus Sport Ausen, JT9s, Governors Cup, na Ibatas Cup and Mr. Karab Border Storms go. But when not must be South and Mr. Sabotin, Cogils, and 2 years Mr. Sabotin, Cogore Bulldogs, na Mibla Kam 2022, na 23, Mibla Kam lo Grand Final na, Mibla run up loan, Grand Final loan, 2022 na 23,
And finally, the Throwdown in Vula'ai event in Hula Village celebrated local athleticism, attracting participants from diverse backgrounds, buoyed by sponsor support from the Constantino Group of companies and others. Despite the lingering challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, TIV 2024 witnessed a notable increase in participation, with 40 men and 4 women eagerly taking part in a series of physically demanding challenges. The Throwdown in Vula'ai event in Hula Village, Central Province showcased local athleticism, drawing participants from near and far. Thanks to sponsor support and despite challenges, participation surged. From swimming to squatting, running, crab crawling and sandbag pulling, participants showcased their strength and endurance in events tailored to mirror daily village chores. The results of TIV 2024 are as follows. Men's Emmanuel Wallo, Noah Noah, Anthony Riley, and women's Filma Leva, Isabella Aunama, and Judith Adrian. Emmanuel Wallo continued his dominance, clinching his 4th consecutive title, while Filma Leva secured her 3rd consecutive win among the women. Generous prizes from sponsors like GFI, CPL, and SVS, including vouchers and goods, incentivized competitors, with top performers also receiving brand new wheelbarrows. The event not only attracted local residents, but also garnered interest from neighboring villages, further solidifying its reputation and appeal. Reflecting on the success of TIV 2024, organizers expressed satisfaction with their goal of promoting and celebrating the natural athletic talents of Hula Village. Plans are already underway to expand the event to Port Moresby in August, underscoring its growing influence and significance in Papua New Guinea's sporting landscape. Carol Kiru Jr., TV1 Sports. And that's been the Midday News. Join us at 6 for more.